Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp on this beautiful Friday with the very first beer of our new Barrel Collab series box by Vandestreek. So this is the Barrel Collab series number 2. I keep calling it 2025 because that is the year they brought this out. Yeah, apparently they decided on calling it number 2. I hope sincerely that there is going to be a number 3 and a number 12 and so on and so on. But in this case, let's start with this one. So I can refer you to the unboxing if you want to have a little more info on what's in here. But apparently it says 6 breweries, 6 beers you've never had before, aged on barrels you don't stumble upon every day. I can verify, I know for a fact that is true. One of the beers was collabed with the brewery that I work for. I was not involved in any way, shape or form in the production of this beer, and I only got to try it when it came out, or like 2 days before. So we'll see how this goes. Now, Barrel Collab series number 2 is all about one-of-a-kind beers, unique barrels and surprising combinations. We asked each of our 6 collab partners which beer they've always wanted to brew or barrel aged but never dared. And they delivered. So, let's start with number 1. And I already cheated a bit. I couldn't decide on either going for a imperial fruit beer or a red ale, but I see the Magistraat collabed with Vandestreek for a red ale. So, let's see if what's on the can is the same as in the box. Yes, so I can close the box off. You can see that they went with a different style, a much more simple style for this series. Still organic, but way more shiny, way more metallic, shining through. And I think personally it's a bit less busy, a bit less jumpy. But the gist stays the same. Organic background. They added this X for this series to every can with their own color scheme. Logos are still down here, but then okay, 100% vegan, good to know. The Magistraat challenged us to rethink the classic Flanders style red ale. We gave the beer a bold, tangy kettle sour base and finished it on Creme de Cassis barrels, where tart blackcurrant notes blend with soft wood, subtle sweetness and refined spice for a layered modern take on a classic style. The red ale is indeed a very classic style. Think about Rodenbach, which is the most renowned one, but also we've talked about Omer van der Ginste red ale, for example. I personally love the Gouden Band by Liefmans, about which we should talk soon. But there are a bunch of red ales and a bunch of good red ales as well. Felix Oudenaards, for example. So, collab with the Magistraat, style Flanders style red ale, barrels Creme de Cassis, so the blackcurrant liqueur, very famous in mainly France, part of Belgium as well. And I do remember this very well because we used to, 20 years ago, back when I was a maitre d', we used to make aperitif cocktails, the Kir Royal, like champagne with Creme de Cassis on the bottom. 8.8% ABV, 38 EBC and 29 IBUs. So not too dark and also not too bitter. Ingredients: water, barley malt, rye malt, hops and yeast. So a lot of protein, and rye also gives that spicy undertone. So I am very curious. So they mentioned spiced, there's rye in here. So I think indeed, the fruit from the crème de cassis, the spice from the rye. On paper, this is something I should really, really like. Pours nicely. Ooh, it's very, very aromatic, very alcoholic as well. First things first, it's relatively clear, and even though on camera this probably looks light brown, I can assure you this is a reddish amber, yeah, beautiful color, relatively light. And of course, we had some nice beige foam, but again, protein and acids don't really like each other. And don't get me on amino acids. I know. But I mean acids like in here. Normally, a Flanders red ale is made with lactacid bacteria, so milky acids. In this case, they made it with a Philly sour base. Now, I happen to love Philly sours and kettle sours, so I am very curious where this is going. There's so many things that I can check off that I should like. But with those acids, the foam dissipated really quickly. Quite carbonated though, so. Oh wow, this is strong. Fruity, of course, berries, and that smell, that typical alcoholic liqueur smell. But in this case, I could have mistaken it for either a fruity liquor like Crème de Cassis or bourbon. And I think that this is aged in oak barrels, because there's not only the blackcurrant, but there is also a bit of vanilla in the nose. And it smells quite sweet and sour. It's like we used to eat sour berries with some sugar on top. Yeah, also a bit lemony. Okay, let's have a taste. Cheers. Ooh, that takes some getting used to. Not what I expected. Well, I didn't really have flavor expectations, but okay, so I just rinsed my palate a bit, and ooh, very astringent. Okay, let's break this down. Mouthfeel. On point. Not too thick, not too syrupy, not too thin, not too watery. Yeah, on point, perfect. First thoughts, very astringent, quite a lot of bitterness, but not aggressive bitterness, aromatic bitterness. So I do get the 29 IBUs. This is bitter, but in a grapefruity kind of way. So not pure hops. That is, of course, because of the hops and the blackcurrant. Those acids go hand in hand with the beta acids from the hops. Lovely amount of carbonation, very soft. It feels very luxurious. Yeah, but at the same time, we get those spicy notes that they promised. We get a slightly vegetal flavor, like a subtle undertone woven in there. We also get full-on blackcurrant, quite boozy, quite warming, so Crème de Cassis is very present. I do get a hint of vanilla as well, but again, very subtle, very layered. And then it is very astringent, very woody. I think that the only word that I haven't mentioned flavor-wise is the key word in a Flanders red ale, sourness. So it does have a bit of grapefruit, it does have some lemony, not aroma, but lemony sourness. It's not aggressively sour, it's not sour as a goose, it's, well, the combination of sour and this aromatic hoppy bitterness does remind me of Old Goose. But yeah, you do get the feeling that there's no milky acid here, no lactacid bacteria, which is a complete mind bend for me. But nonetheless, a very nice beer. Also tastes quite light. Thirst quenching, light, really doesn't give 8.8% ABV vibes. This could have easily been like a 6.5. So dangerous as well. And I think the only downside that I can imagine is it has like this strong liqueur flavor on the roof of the mouth, the back of the tongue. So it's a bit bourbon-y. And that is just a tiny tad too much for me. But apart from that, very nice. Now, lucky for me, that biflavor doesn't really linger, and the aftertaste is way softer. It's like a condensed version of that Philly sourness, that blackcurrant fruitiness and sourness, and a tiny hint of the hops. So an absolutely pleasant, lovely aftertaste. That means we have another high score on our hands. Now, how much should I score this? I am thinking 375 going on 4. And I really admire these guys for their creativity. Creativity in naming the style, for one, because I would have probably called this like a Flemish inspired kettle sour or a fruited sour, but yeah, good on them for inventing this style. But apart from that, very nice. Yeah, this will probably be 375, maybe 4. Okay, that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a comment down below, hit the thumbs up. If you want to support this channel, share a video, visit the Patreon page and support me for about half a beer a month. And if you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon, you'll get notified whenever I upload something, which for the next week should still be every freaking day. How do I do these things to myself? Either way, until the next video, number 2 of this, that would be Monday. Cheers, you guys.